A brand synonymous with hardcore fishing, Mako has been building fiberglass fishing boats out of Florida for over 50 years. When invited to Islamorada in the Keys to check out a Mako Funament, we couldn't resist. After all, this would be a perfect opportunity to test a couple of Makos in their natural habitat.
Spanish for island home, Islamorada is located about halfway between Miami and Key West. It is arguably the best destination for sport fishing in the Keys. So if you're venturing down to Key West, you really should make a stop.
The drive from Miami by itself is quite a treat. And upon entering the village of islands, the first resident we ran into was also the largest. Lobster, that is. Meet Betsy, proud guardian of the Rain Barrel Artist Village in Islamorada. Base camp for the Funament was located at the Worldwide Sportsman Bayside Marina. And what a place for a fishing tournament. I'm always forgetting something when I travel, so having such a well-stocked Bass Pro on site is a huge bonus. We often find a boat or two inside a Bass Pro, but never one like this. Right in the middle of the Worldwide Sportsman is Ernest Hemingway's Pilar. This wonderful piece of marine history is notable for its influence on the author while writing several works, including The Old Man and the Sea. Not only can you touch and feel Pilar, but you can climb aboard this 85-year-old piece of history, take a peek inside, and even go below deck. With a few provisions in hand, it was time to get down to business and take our first Mako for a spin.
Everybody knows an offshore boat is designed for open water, and a skiff is designed for the flats. But what if you have to cross a little open water to get to the flats? Should you buy a new kidney belt, or could there be another option? This is the Mako 18 LTS, and there's a reason it's become so popular. What's unique about this 18 LTS is the RPS hull, which stands for Rapid Planing System. And what it does is it puts this boat somewhere between a technical skiff and a bay boat. And what I mean by that is you can run fairly shallow, 10 or 11 inches. But when the water picks up where you've got to cross a bay or a larger body, you've got a lot more ride comfort than you would in a flat-bottomed skiff. And that really lends itself to extraordinary versatility. Because let's face it, the flats aren't always right in your backyard.
So what is the secret to achieve such versatility? Turns out it's all in the hull design. First of all, the RPS hull has a tunnel at the transom with a cover to provide lift while aerating at the same time. Then, there is a U-shaped step integrated into the hull that helps shorten the running surface while reducing surface tension. On top of that, the lifting strakes have been eliminated all around the perimeter, reducing drag even further.
And that RPS hull is very light and gets on plane almost immediately. It's also very maneuverable. There are limits, of course. It will slide a little if you really crank the wheel. So you gotta be prepared. But the ride comfort in the chop, impressive for an little 18-foot boat. It only draws 11 inches of water. Another impressive element of this RPS hull is the stability. So unlike a flat-bottom boat, you aren't stuck only fishing in the flats. In fact, we're finding it quite comfortable out here right now in 7-8 inches of chop. Now, that's not a lot of chop, but for an 18-foot boat, the stability is quite impressive.
And it's not just stable. This hull feels rock solid, in part because the hull, deck, and even console are chemically bonded and mechanically fastened together. Through hulls, bow and stern eyes, fuel fill, and cleats are all stainless for corrosion resistance. There's ample storage fore and aft with closed mold laminate hatch covers that are fully finished underside. And check out the compartments, all finished in smooth gel coat. Fishing features are legit, with raised fore and aft casting platforms covered in aggressive non-skid. There are 6 vertical flush-mounted rod holders plus under-gunnel rod tubes. There's an 18-gallon bait well in the console hidden under the forward cushion. The helm is Spartan but efficient with lots of space for additional electronics. A cushioned cooler doubles as a helm seat and has a pivoting backrest for even more flexibility.
I also really like the non-skid everywhere, including on the gunnels. And as you can see, the bow casting platform is actually curved on the sides, so you have a little bit of extra room, like an extra wide gunnel, as you're transitioning from bow to stern. And standard equipment on the LTS is a Minn Kota trolling motor. So is the boat perfect? Well, no boat's perfect. Can you solve most of the little issues with accessories? Probably. My first issue really is there's nowhere to put small items like a cell phone and a wallet, so you're stuck leaving them in your pocket. Is the 115 Pro XS enough power? Absolutely. Would I go any less? No way. I would definitely opt for the 115. You'll notice our 115 has a jacking plate on it, and I think with this boat, due to that hybrid hull, you really do want that jacking plate to take advantage of the shallow water operation.
So if you're looking for a versatile fishing boat, one that you can pull into shallow water with, but still has enough comfort and capability for bay running, you might want to check out an LTS from Mako. Its unique RPS hull punches well above its waistline. Returning from lunch, we find a bustling marina where registration for the Funament is in full swing. This was our first Mako owner's Funament, and we asked event host and angling authority George Poveromo to provide some insight into the event and its origins.
The original Mako Funament started way back in the late 1970s, and this was a great marketing deal that Mako Marine would put on for its owners to give them an opportunity to come to different areas, fish with fellow Mako owners, looking at their boats, talking to them, meeting people who share the same interests as you do with the same boats. And the fishing, even though we have awards, it's pretty much wide open.
With prime locations and Bass Pro support, these events seem to be drawing folks in from many miles away.
One person had trailered his Mako 234 all the way here from Texas, and they're pretty much scattered all over.
If people are willing to drive that far, you know the fishing has to be great.
Islamorada and the Florida Keys, it's really a varied place in that you have inshore fishing opportunities and backcountry for game fish like snook, tarpon, sea trout. Then you have nearshore and reef fishing for your groupers and your snappers, or they could go 20, 25, 30 miles offshore and go for the big game fish. The Funaments, there's nothing like them. It's just all around fun.
And that fun starts early. We found most participants on the dock by 6 a.m., grabbing bait and loading up with ice for the day. Good thing the bait shop opens early. As George mentioned, the fishing here is quite varied, and we find Makos of all sizes being prepared for offshore and backcountry fishing. As soon as the bait wells and ice lockers are full, we watch them head out as the Funament begins. It would be great to go fishing for the day, but as the sun begins to poke above the horizon, we finally have enough light to test out another Mako.
We're going to take a Mako 204cc for a spin, a very capable 20-foot center console offshore fishing boat. And we're lucky because it's equipped with the brand new 225 horsepower Mercury V6.
The 204cc might be the second smallest offshore boat in Mako's lineup, but is well equipped for multi-species fishing with multiple gunnel rod holders and under gunnel rod racks.
Now here's something Mako just gets. These boats are used for multiple purposes. So you've got two large bow seats for some ride comfort when underway, but also they're completely covered in non-skid, so they act as an excellent casting platform.
There is a dedicated anchor locker forward, and under each bow seat is a 75-liter insulated storage box for packing ice. The deck hatch lifts on a stainless steel strut to reveal a huge 117-liter storage compartment. Not only are all compartments finished, but they each have water-resistant gaskets to help keep seawater out. And notice the hardware? All stainless. Under the console seat, we find the bait well, which is just under 80 liters. The helm is well equipped with analog gauges, binnacle-mounted controls, and easy access for future upgrades. The new leaning post features a pivoting backrest and secures a 68-liter cooler below, which we made regular use of. As we headed out, I'm reminded of how special the Florida Keys are. The scenery is colorful and the destinations are limitless. Not to mention the weather.
At its heart, this is an offshore fishing boat. But as you can see by the layout, it can easily be used as a day boat and a family runabout. My first impression right away is just how solid feeling these Makos are. The entire hull and deck is chemically bonded, but then they also use stainless fasteners and screws to make sure the whole thing's welded together, basically. What an amazing little hull for a 20-foot boat, so planted and solid. Now, mind you, this is an offshore boat, and we're sitting in the channel right now, so it's not that rough. But you can see just how fun it is to turn. Now I know why they need straps for the cooler. So the base engine's the 150, but I'll tell you what, this new 2.25 V6 is impressive. And I think that's the engine. It's worth the money. Smooth, quiet, and just stunningly powerful. So impressive is the throttle response on these new Mercs. And when you hit it, it's instantaneous.
Back at the dock, we found the cleaning stations bustling with activity. Conservation remains a top priority, and most catch is released. But if your freezer is empty, this is one event where you are sure to restock. A Funament barbecue rounds out the afternoon with plenty of food, awards, and prizes. There aren't any cash awards, but there are a few outstanding angler plaques and plenty of door prizes handed out. With the sun going down, to celebrate the day's catch, there's a party on the beach. You have to hand it to Mako. These Funaments continue to be a huge hit. But whether there's a Funament or not, Islamorada is an incredible destination, one that should be on every boater's bucket list.